Hello friends, this is Saurus MG, the YouTuber of SV3-in-1. So today we're gonna look at three topics. We have three topics to cover today. And if you have been looking up on my Twitter account, you know the A321XLR or the A321 extra long range. So today we're gonna look at this, the game changer. It's really a game changer. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. The A321XLR is a member of the A320 Neo family. It is also a game changer. Game changer. The XLR stands for extra long range. Of course, this means it could travel long ranges, or long distances without stopping. The aircraft, as of the making of this video, is still in development, but will soon enter service. It's scheduled to enter service in 2023, and that's the news that we has as of 2021. The airplane has already entered production with production starting in May 2021. Airbus has also received many orders from 450 orders from 24 customers. But who exactly are these? Let's take a look at all the airlines that have ordered the A321XLR. First, North American Airlines. So as of the making of this video, none of the African airlines have ordered the aircraft, but we don't know still what about that. Our first airline is American. It's American Airlines. American Airlines is also called the flag carrier of the USA, even though it's not actually. It's actually not. It has logged one of the largest orders in the world with over 50 of the orders. With 50 orders, the deliveries are from 2023 to 2025. That is what is expected as of now, and it was ordered at the Paris Air Show back in 2019. So American Airlines was one of the very first customers to buy the A321XLR. Our next airline is United Airlines. United Airlines is another major airline of the US, and it has 50 orders for the aircraft. The deliveries are starting from 2024, and it could use the type to expand its network to Europe and Africa, or the transatlantic route. Now, what is the transatlantic route? Well, these routes are across that flights that take place across the Atlantic Ocean. So yeah, since it's based in US, it could potentially make these 50 A321XLRs to Europe and Africa. Frontier Airlines had also ordered 18 of the type, and with deliveries expected to commence from 2024, this major American airline could potentially expand its international and Hawaiian routes. And yeah, we don't know what these airlines will use the aircraft for. Our last North American airline is JetBlue. JetBlue is also a major American airline, which has 13 orders for the aircraft, and the deliveries are to be beginning in 2023, and it will be used on transatlantic flights, on long haul transatlantic flights. As of now, JetBlue is using the A321XLRs. You can say the smaller brother of the A321XLR, the A321LR. The A321LR, or just long range, is in service. So yeah, JetBlue is currently using some of those to get to London. It's only transatlantic route. And next we have the South American Airlines. Only two airlines in South America. The first airline is JetSmart. JetSmart is a low cost carrier of Chile, and it has 13 orders. It also has 13 orders. And as of now, we don't know when the deliveries will begin. The JetSmart will most likely use the airplane to expand its network of destinations in North America. Sky Airlines, which is the second largest airline in Chile, has placed a smaller order. It has placed 10 orders, and the deliveries will start from the third quarter of 2023. Like JetSmart, Sky Airlines will also expand its destination network in North America. And now for the European airlines. First is the Air Lease Corporation. Air Lease Corporation is an American-Irish leasing company. Leasing company. This means it leases aircraft. It does not operate on its own, but it leases the aircraft. It has 50 orders, just like American and United. It also has logged 50 orders for the aircraft. And as of today, we don't know when the deliveries will begin. But yeah, it will of course lease the aircraft to other airlines. And our next carrier is Wizz Air. Wizz Air is a Hungarian low-cost carrier, and it has orders for 20 of the type. And deliveries will begin in 2023, and it can seat 239 passengers. It will seat 239 passengers. It will have a 239 seat configuration, which means it can Wizz Air's A321XLRs can take up to 239 people. And next is Iberia. Iberia is the flag carrier of Spain, and it has placed a much smaller order. It has only placed 8 orders, and with delivery scheduled to begin in 2023. It was ordered by the International Airline Group, containing of 2 members, British Airways and Iberia. Our next order is Czech Airlines. Czech Airlines had orders for 7 of the aircraft. Czech Airlines recently cancelled its orders for the A321X extra long range. So yeah, Czech Airlines will not operate the A321XLR. Aer Lingus is the flag carrier of Ireland. It has also placed orders for 6 of the A321XLRs, with delivery scheduled to begin from 2023, and it is ordered by the International Airlines Group again. So I actually forgot about it contains many more members as well. And next we have the largest category, Asian Airlines. The first carrier is Indian low-cost carrier Indigo, and it has placed more than 200 orders. We don't know how many orders it has placed exactly, but yeah, it's confirmed that it has placed almost half of all the A321XLR orders. This is something amazing, right? But we know that it has ordered 248 of the type, with both the A321 and the XLR combined. The deliveries are scheduled to begin in 2024 as of the making of this video. Next we have AirAsia X. AirAsia X is a Malaysian budget carrier, and it has 30 orders for the type. And we don't know when the deliveries will start, but so far, and as of the making of this video, is the only Malaysian airline that has placed orders for the aircraft. And next we have Air Arabia. Air Arabia is a low-cost carrier, is the Emirati low-cost carrier. It has 20 orders for the aircraft, and we also don't know when the deliveries will begin. It could help to reach the destinations in Africa, Europe, Asia, and even the Americas. Yeah, only potentially, which means this potential, and we don't know if it will use. Our next carrier is Vietjet. The Vietnamese carrier has ordered 20 of the type, and we don't know when the deliveries will begin. And it looked like it was planning to fly the aircraft to Australia, but yeah, we don't know what the plans of Vietjet are. And our next carrier is Cebu Pacific, which is the carrier of the Philippines, and it has 10 orders for the aircraft. The deliveries are to be beginning in 2024. Flynas, which is a Saudi Arabian low-cost carrier, has ordered 10 of the type, and we don't know when the deliveries will begin. Middle East Airlines, which is the launch customer, which is the flag carrier of Lebanon, is to become the launch customer for the aircraft. It also places the smallest order with only 4 of the type on order. The deliveries beginning in 2023. The only Australian airline to order the type was Qantas, and we all know the Qantas is the flag carrier of Australia. It has 36 orders and deliveries in 2024, and the only airline in Australia to order the type, as I mentioned. So yeah, by this figures you can clearly understand the aircraft is scheduled to become a game changer. So guys, that was about the aeroplanes for today. Now let's take a look at what has been happening with the rocket industry recently. So far, two rocket launches have taken place. One is the Electron, which I was tweeting. Actually, there are 3 of them. Now Vega, we'll discuss Vega in another video. And now let's see Electron Love at First Insight. Now exactly that's just the name of the missions, not anything else. So this is the third Electron launch that attempted a recovery of the first stage. This means that they actually attempted to recover the first stage. It was not the first time, certainly only for the second time since the recoveries had been started exactly a year ago today. So you have right on November 20th, 2020, for the first time, Electron's first statement to land Mac. This actually does mean that Electron has the second attempt in which I live streamed a few months ago in May 2021. The mission failed the first stage to land, but this was the third recovery attempt, and yeah, this was also successful. Now, unlike SpaceX and Blue Origin, SpaceX and Blue Origin both failed in the first attempts to uh, to recover the first stage, but it is Rocket Lab that did it on the first attempt, and so far all three attempts have been successful. Now this thing takes off with a loud, very, very loud sound. Just listen to it. If you play at full volume, it will be a lot of things. So I don't want to be at full volume. Just listen. And we have liftoff. So yeah, guys, as if you just heard it, yeah, the Electron takes off with a very, very loud sound. As it has a huge rumbling. So for the first few seconds after liftoff. Now let's see how the first stage and the second stage separates. So yeah, there's a myth, and there it is. There it is. So the first stage separate and the second stage ignites, and it's on its way. And next we will have the separation of the payload fairing. It will be happening shortly here. And there it is, there it is. There it goes, here one half and here the other half. And clearly see the both pieces tumbling away. Now unlike the ones on Falcon 9, these are not reusable. Only the first stage is reusable. And there's the first stage of the vehicle. The next milestone, we will not have a milestone for a long time now. Here's the next milestone. So yeah, the first stage is now headed back to the Earth, headed back towards the Earth at this moment. And then the next event is very unique. This does not happen on other rockets. This is the battery hot swap, where two of the three batteries will have get over, and the two batteries will be jettisoned, allowing the third battery to reactivate itself. He's doing video.
Our next launch event will be the battery hot swap session.
So yeah. So yeah, they're saying right now what is the battery hotspot.
Their power source from batteries. At a certain point, those batteries run out of charge, so we need a fresh new one to keep the engine running. And what we do is we swap the power from the depleted batteries to a third fully charged one, all while keeping the second stage moving at more than 13,000 kilometers an hour. We'll hear that moment called out through mission control shortly before we expect to hear the next recovery operation milestone, that deployment of the drogue parachute. Let's listen in.
So yeah, so we will see. This is one of the two batteries, and you can also see the both batteries when they are separated. So these will be discarded. Okay, we're approaching that one. Oh, we're close, very close. Ah, there it is. There it is.
Hot swap successful.
Okay, you can see the batteries. Here is one of the batteries, and here's the second battery. You can clearly see it tumbling away.
Battery jettison confirmed.
Next up,
And then we also have the main chute deployment. Now we don't.
remaining in stage 4.
The next event is the kick state separation. The third state separation.
Seeker confirmed.
Yeah, there it is. So this is when the second engine cuts off, and you just your stage 3 separation confirmed. Now you can see the second stage tumbling. Yeah, its function is now done. Now, if you're wondering what's the helicopter doing, well, Rocket Lab plans to recover Electron with a helicopter soon. It'll happen very soon, and so this is why it is there. Its helicopter will observe how Electron will be coming back, and that's why this is here.
Wait a payload deployment in about 45 minutes.
Well, there's nothing over here. So the next major milestone which has to be achieved will be the separation of both black sky satellites. Now these both are communication satellites, I think. Black Sky Global 14 and Global 15. And very soon there will be a second launch of these of two more Black Sky satellites, Global 12 and Global 13. Global 14 and Global 15 launched on this one. On November 27th, or just in about a week from now, we'll be launching the next one. Also, talking about upcoming missions, we'll also be having the launch of the Falcon 9, the DART mission. The DART mission is to crash into an asteroid surface to change its orbit around the sun. Or this will be an upcoming mission that I don't know what is going to happen. It launch is scheduled in 4 days. So you're almost there, Curie. Now, what is this Curie burn? Well, this is actually the moment when the kick stage ignites to circularize the orbit.
Welcome back to the webcast of Rocket Lab's 22nd Electron mission.
ಏನಾಯ್ತಾ So on this mission, the first stage had successfully splashed down. Now we'll just see the animation. So there it is, the animation. The animation is a little distorted. Actually, only about 16 seconds after it separates, the real separation happens on this one. So yeah, it's a little bit distorted. Now usually we just see the two satellites separate, but now this is the top head. So there was many modifications on this one. The fading was extended by 600 millimeters. The top head was added to the kick stage. So yeah, these are the modifications. Now there's a unique separation event in between the separation of both satellites. How is that? Well, you will see in a moment. The first separation, there are three separation events instead of two. Even though there are only two payloads on board, actually three separation events. But what are the three separation events? Well, now the first separation event will be the separation of the first Black Sky satellite, Black Sky Global 14. Should happen anywhere, somewhere around now. The animation stage. And there it is, yeah. This is the kick stage, and you can see the first satellite floating away from the rocket. So the next designing will be of the top head, also called the kind of like the top head. Now, what is the top head? This is the white structure that the first satellite was attached to. Well, the separation will be coming in a few moments here, and yeah, it should be coming. Now, if you might be asking yourself where is the second satellite, is actually inside the top head, and there's the top head separation. And now we will see the separation of the second satellite. There you can see it. So that was a Rocket Lab launch, and our next launch is very special. Let's see. Now, Astra is a very small American startup company. It's a So these are the rockets that Astra has manufactured. So far, it has launched many of these rockets into space. Whoa. So yeah, the first one was Rocket 1, also called as. So here's the Rocket 1. Yeah, it's really small. It's just really small, as you can see. Now, it does not include a second stage. It was only a mass simulator. Instead of a second stage, it was only a dummy second stage. The vehicle has the Astra uses the rocket uses 5 Delphin engines on the first stage, and the second stage engine is called Ether. Now, Rocket 1 was launched on 20th July 2018. It left the Pacific Sport Fair Complex launch 2. However, the foggy conditions made it difficult to observe the launch. That was according to local reporters. After about 27 seconds of propelled flight, it looked like Rocket 1 suffered an unknown anomaly, and it just returned to the ground. And it was, it had failed. Astra declared this as a success. Rocket 2 was launched on 29th November 2018 or 30th November 2018 at 3 o'clock a.m. UTC. It was also the same pad that was used for thing. So these Rocket 1 and Rocket 2 did not reach orbit. Instead, they were just returned. They were just reach space and then burn up in the Earth's atmosphere as they were re-entering. Now, just like Rocket 1, Rocket 2 had 30 seconds of powered flight, after which the vehicle aborted and it also returned to the launch site. And sources observing the launch reported the vehicle landed slightly outside the perimeter force, just south of the launch pad, but on spaceport property. Just like Rocket 1, Rocket 2 didn't have a mass simulator for the second stage, as the Ether engine was still in development at this moment. Then next comes Rocket 3. Rocket 3 is the orbital one, and Rocket 3, the Delphin engines have 6,500 pounds of thrust each, which means that they were more than 20,000 pounds of thrust, while the second stage just around 740 pounds of thrust in the vacuum of space. The first one, called Rocket 3.0, was completed static flight test, after which it planned to launch from the same Pacific Spaceport Complex. It attempted launches in late February and early March 2020. There were no launches in 2019. It was carrying 3 CubeSats for the US Department of Defense, and yeah. So also called one of three, Rocket one of three. Yeah. Yeah, so the next, however, on 23rd March 2020, one of three was the Rocket 3.0 was destroyed by fire during launch preparations. So yeah, why this happened was that the valve on the Rocket 3.0 remained open, which caused the fire, which ended up causing the fire. Rocket 3.1 was even more weird. This was a second launch attempt, and it launched on 11 September 2020. However, the launch failed during first stage flight, and it experienced an anomaly and fell back to Earth. It exploded in a part of a space that was cleared before launch. It was cleared. Now Astra said that the software fix will most likely resolve a guidance system problem that caused the first orbital cluster rocket to begin drifting off course. The next rocket got even closer to orbit. It came as Rocket 3.2, launched on 15th December 2020 around 8:55 p.m. UTC. The rocket actually did successfully pass the Kármán line and reached its target altitude of 390 kilometers. However, there was issues with the upper stage fuel mixture, and the rocket failed to achieve orbit again. The rocket did not carry any satellites or any payloads, since it was only a demonstration mission. Rocket 3.3 had a weird takeoff. Now let's take a look at Rocket 3.3 before we go to Rocket 3.4. So Astra LV for Launch Vehicle 0006. So NASA Spaceflight did a live stream of this. The vehicle took off really weirdly. If you just see the launch, yeah, we'll discuss in another video. What's this? Okay, so we're just gonna. And what is going on here? The network's so bad, bro. So now let's watch from here. Now everything up until this point was looking good, but to see the takeoff, I had actually discussed this in another video, but let's take a recap. Now this entire thing is the first stage. The second stage is really small inside the fairing. The rocket 3.3 also didn't have any payloads. And now here comes the big moment. Now let's play it as 0.25 speed to make it more obvious to see what exactly happened. As you see, yeah. It takes off vertically, and then if you're wondering what's happening, just see it's bending towards the side. And and did you just see how it took off? It had to go like this. It became side, and if I do the speed to normal, see clearly what's happening there. It just took off sideways instead of straight. So this is due to an engine failure, a propellant leakage that caused one of the engines to fail. Yeah. You can see the rocket still was traveling sideways. So yeah, this mission was already clearly a failure. So after some time, this happens. As we approach the first stage separation, this is what ends up happening. It shuts down and then it begins to spin out of control. It's like spiraling down back towards the Earth. The mission has failed. Then they switch back to the view of the launch pad. The mission was declared a failure afterwards. Now let's take a look at today's launch, Astra Rocket 3.4. Astra LV0007. So here it is.
Very excited and rightfully so. 3.5 minutes into flight.
Now,
The daily launches, it seems like small delays could hold up many launches.
That is a fantastic question, and I very much look forward to having those problems. Those will be good problems to have. But we're focusing tonight on our launch of LV0007, and so you can keep your eyes posted on our future plans by following us on Twitter and checking out.
so this was an 8-minute launch that took 8 minutes.
One. All nominal at this time.
Hi guys, we're still about 90 seconds on the launch. One day America's gonna afford it. So this happened just before I made the video. It's about like 3-4 hours ago. Like it was just 3 to 4 hours ago before I made this video.
Water. 1, 2, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
So yeah, as you just saw, this one took off straight instead of going sideways like the previous launch vehicle. That happened. The launch failure of Astra Rocket 3.3 had happened just a few months ago. Now they're back with this one. This is the first stage burning.
Vegas just passed 50 meters per second, 3 kilometers an hour.
Eagles tracking downrange.
This main engine cutoff where a pico at 300 meters per second at an altitude of 12 kilometers.
Here's the max Q movement. So yeah, we're actually supposed to experience 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Eagles on track downrange.
Now the payload wasn't going to deploy from the satellite, but yeah, still. And if you just forwarded the video and you can see the first stage shutting down, it will happen in a few moments. We have 2 separation events over here. First, we've got the separation of the payload fairing over here at one side. This is the second stage separation. This is the first stage and second stage in separating. And this side we have the payload deployment of the payload fairing. So they had actually made it to this point, but now is the real magic. Actually, on this mission, Astra managed to successfully reach to orbit This is an amazing mission actually. This is one of the most amazing missions.
And T plus 7, that's 30 seconds, all on track.
And now here's the big moment. What the?
And there you have it, orbital insertion, second engine cutoff, and Astra's LV0007 has successfully reached orbit. There is a new orbital rocket.
And you just hear it, guys. The mission was successful. It was amazing. So guys, that's it for today. I will just see if the Among Us thing has just, if the Among Us have got automatically updated or what. It happens sometimes. It gets automatically updated without even me happening. So guys, okay, Among Us, here's the Among Us. So this is as always, it just takes too much time to open, guys. Oh my god, what's going on? Yeah, finally. So it hasn't got automatically updated or something, but yeah. I will be soon playing the new Among Us version. So yeah, usually we have some things. So yeah. Let's look at the Among Us new update. Inner slot maybe? Here it is. So this is the trailer. Let's take a look. So first we have these new outfits kind of thing, and we have and actually like looks like they copied Minecraft. Levels, XP, and all are there now, and you can also buy these nameplates with the stars, beans. I have to collect this one stars for this much for one nameplate or one skin. This is an awesome new update. So there it is. There it is. But actually, you have to bring this. You have to give money for this one. So yeah, it's not free. But it's just not over yet. Roles. Now, what are these roles? Usually, there used to be only a crewmate role and imposter role, but now four new roles have been added. Now, what are those? Let's see. Here's the thing. Our first role is scientist. Now, scientists can access vitals for any time. You can access the vital for any time. Now, what do I mean by any time? Well, it actually just means that you can see the vitals where the vitals are where you can check if anyone's who is dead and who is alive. So yeah, usually it cannot be on the Mira HQ map, but now you can access. The scientists can access. There'll be battery for 5 seconds, after which the vitals timer will get over, and you cannot use vitals until you do a task. So that's the role of the scientist. Our next role is the shapeshifter. Yup, it is right. Actually, you can see on your screen clearly. This shapeshifter is actually can disguise themselves, can change themselves into any other crewmate. This is the next role. Now our next role is the engineer. Now, engineer is not an imposter. Since actually coming out of the vent is actually not an imposter, but is actually a crewmate that can use the vents. So yeah, imposters and the engineers can use the vent. Now up, you can only use the vents between every 30 seconds. That is the setting that has been used. The next role is the guardian angel. Can this this role can protect crewmates so that they don't die. This is actually another thing. So guys, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and thanks for joining me. I know this is a long video, but bye guys, and that's it for today.